Magnus, what happened last time?
Last time we delved and explored, and no, that was 2 times ago.
No,
Last
you did.
time.
Yeah, you got.
Okay.
That was teleport time.
Yeah, that's right. I'm conflating. I'm switching them around in my mind. Yeah, we delved and we explored and we figured out some rules of the teleporter. Um, uh, Handled several enemies rather handily, as I remember it. And that sounds like a little, but it took a lot to get there.
Yeah, the mechanics took a long time, but that's done.
I not much else other than that happened, but that was a lot because it took us a while of puzzle solving and experimentation and in the end, we really just have more places to explore. But I can't recall too much else of note that occurred. So please correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else?
The only thing I would say is that we had a scary encounter at the very end with the only scary encounter at the very end with the ticks and disease. So that's still, rearing its ugly head every once in a while. But we got people cured.
Yes.
And I see that we, it took a long time because we weren't merely satisfied with how does it work, meaning how do you activate it? Let's do it. We wanted to know every parameter about it, and I was one of them that wanted to know every parameter about it, and that was cool. So we would know what to expect, which is good to know because, for example, if we didn't hash out that 20-minute delay thing, whatever, we might have had a problem if somebody went through it and then all of a sudden we all have to go and we're like stuck there, So.
Yeah. So, that was it.
All right.
Well,
Yeah. So yeah, you and you all, you figured it out. You made it out. I was like, this is the time. This is the time when they're going to get lost here, and we're going to end the session in the dungeon. Which I don't think has ever happened so far. But it didn't. You made it out. So quite impressive. And
But now we need to start our journey.
Yeah, so you were, first had dealings with some crone, and she promised you some sort of aid, and the aid later came in a meeting with a sprite, a fairy woman named Erica Thistledown, and she invited you to her royal court. Apparently she is a princess of the Fae, and she promises very valuable, but like a little one, exactly. She promises very valuable information if you attend the Sprite Festival that is about to happen on Deidre Fomhar of the 31st. Now, it is currently the evening of the 22nd of Deidre Fomhar, and you have arranged to meet a goblin ship captain at Rodocon's Riverside Rounds.
And part of the plan is he said we were going to get the cabin, and we could stow our weapons in a box in the cabin, and the crew need not be any of the wiser.
right.
And but also that we couldn't bring horses.
Yeah, my next question would be, do you choose to also bring your 3 mercenaries, your 3 young adventuring mercenaries?
I think Rolo will be left behind because I don't trust his behavior in a completely foreign environment like that.
Yeah, I think we might as well leave them.
Yeah, and also I'm leaving Monacan behind as well. And I'm going to release him.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Woo.
So you're gonna get back and you don't know what the heck is.
No, I'm. If it's the evening, I'm going to release him right now.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
Let's see how it goes.
Ripley is also staying behind. As much of a hit as a dog would be at the party, I don't think Ripley would have a good time.
Right. Okay. So everybody's staying behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're basically going stag.
Yep.
Okay. So you're here the evening before at Rodocon's Rounds, the tavern to the northwest of Caden's Rest. And it's this 2-story thing that overlooks the waterfront at night. It is cold. And in fact, it is miserably cold. There are icy winds outside. It's -17 at night now. And so everybody's huddled around all the fires in here. Work for the season is quickly coming to an end as Darkentide approaches. And so they're rushing to get what work done they can before it comes. Captain Stronk is here with you, who is charmed as well. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Costs 2,000 gold pieces for a boat ride, but it's all expenses paid, as it were. All you have to do is pay that, and that gets you there and back, and it's all you need to do. You can store all your food and weapons and gear the night before without the goblins, who have taken shore leave somewhere else than town, you notice. They are, as rowdy as this place is, a gaggle of 24 goblins is not coming in here to test people even further, and as far as what people will tolerate from the other world. Well, anyways, is there anything that you need to do? Any plans you need to make the night before you depart?
You first.
Okay. Is there anything that Algar knows about fairy etiquette that I should tell the crew?
Everything.
Before we...
Okay. Everything Richard knows.
Okay. Shit, what do I know?
Bring your own food. Bring your own food.
I'm not actually sure how... I don't know if that applies here.
That's what I'm doing. That's a superstition.
I mean, it's a fair superstition. Just... I don't know, just be polite, be respectful, and if they're itty-bitty and small, just... Everyone here is taller than you. Just roll with that. Everyone here is taller than you, and everyone is higher ranked than you, and just be nice. Be friendly. And if people are bizarre, don't mention it.
I might have the... let me see if I can find it here. The rules of the Fae. There's like 3 of them. One of them is, in fact, etiquette. Meaning that a breach of etiquette, a breach of like being kind and courtly, is highly offensive and grounds for murdering. I think the other one is anything given must be returned, or anything exchanged must be given 1 for 1. So if they give you something, they have something by their law. Let's see if I can find it here.
This is not a place of gifts.
Rules of conduct. That sounds correct. Rules of conduct. That's not to say that you can't take a gift, but
just,
it might be fair to know what you would be asked of. The 3 rules. The rule of hospitality. Whether friend or enemy or stranger enter your home, you must be gracious, accommodating, until such time they prove their untrustworthiness. Until that happens, they deserve your hospitality. Fairies will expect others to act that way, and they will, even if they hate you and want to eat you. The rule of ownership. You must not steal from friend, enemy, or stranger. To take something that does not belong without their permission is a crime punishable by death. The rule of reciprocity. When a friend or an enemy or stranger offers a gift, you are obliged to take it, and you must offer something of comparable value. Such things may not be spoken. And it must and such reciprocation may not have to happen immediately.
Well, that's good because, like I wouldn't be carrying anything worthy of gifting.
Yeah, nor I at the
These
moment.
are definitely things Algar would know, but I don't think the others maybe would have heard it from their mothers, maybe, or their crazy aunt or something.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing
Algar
we
can attest, can give some field experience. These rules are legit. If you go by them, you will probably be okay.
It's a good thing we decided not to bring our friends, considering they're slightly under the board, careers.
My expectation is that thieves, as a rule, are familiar with situations where you have to be very careful with your etiquette, lest you be shanked.
Not Rollo.
Not Rollo so much, no.
Yes, not Rollo.
Rollo has made a series of bad decisions in his life related to this very problem.
Just one after another. That's why I'm stuck with him at the moment.
Yeah. And all Celtic folklore applies here. There are two courts of Fae. There is a dark and winter court and a light and summer court, the Seelie and Unseelie. And we are entering the time when the Unseelie rule and ascend.
And Algar knows all this and shares that with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might not be... Actually, no, honestly, he's exactly that boring. He will probably give it out to you in basically dry bullet points.
He has like a checklist, he has stuff written out, like pamphlets.
You are a guest here. Behave as a guest would. If you violate the expectations of a polite guest, they might kill you. Don't take their things. They'll probably kill you.
Can I borrow the flashcards? Thank you. I'm going to take your flashcards and thank you.
Honestly, yes, he probably would have. No, he's not that literate, probably. But yeah. And if they offer you a gift, you must accept it, and that does create an obligation in you to provide a gift of comparable value in the future.
Well,
so be nice, because if you make them hate you, they have a great tool with which to mess with you without violating the bonds of hospitality, which is giving you an incredibly obnoxious gift.
Well,
I know people who that happened to.
Really
it
uncomfortable.
It was a very complicated time in their life.
I think I'm just going to keep my mouth shut as much as I can, because the more I hear about this, the worse it sounds.
No, it's not so bad. It'll be weird, but I think you'll have a nice time.
I hope so.
All right. If you're all going to a royal court, did you have like furs made or something? How do you do that? I don't even know. I guess maybe, or do you just go in your typical...
I'll shine my armor.
Yeah, shine.
Well,
I'll make sure everything is tip top clean, and I'll get a new washing of the. I'm not getting anything special for these people because I don't even know what would be. I mean, if I was to get the whatever's available in Zelkor's and finery of a tabard or whatever, I go over there and it's completely way out of the style of what they would even appreciate. So it's not even any point. Is the way I look at it. I don't know enough about it.
We are kind of going as we're not guests. I mean, we are guests, but we're also weird curios that they've invited to gawk at, because we're bizarre. We're gigantic. We're enormously loud. We're hairy. We're weird to them. We're fast. We're a human zoo.
I have a nice robe.
The one with stars?
Go ahead.
The one with the stars?
Yeah, I found it somewhere. I don't remember exactly where.
Oh, I know that one.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't wear it when I'm usually in the dungeon.
I have one curiosity.
In fact, I don't think I've ever worn it before, but now it seems like as good a time as any.
I have
I
a
will-
blast from the past curio item, which we'll leave for later.
I
Okay.
will bring a suitable kit with which to polish and wash our various garments and equipment so that we show up looking at least tidy.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I would wear like if Magnus suggested it, I'd wear a black, fresh black clothes with my snakeskin cape that has the sign of the rune of the hounds on it. Some fresh black gloves, black leather gloves, and I probably don't think about it, but I'll leave my 500 gold piece earring in my ear and not think about it. Forget that it's there.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You look like you're on the cover of a black metal album or something, or like a character in an
Totally.
Elric novel. Or
Yeah.
Very unseelie, my friend.
yeah.
And how about Father Bloombad? Are you repping the light?
Yeah. Yes, I am. We also have those snakeskin cloaks we had made.
Yeah, that's true.
Very
That
swag.
so like everybody has those cloaks.
Sure, that I can see doing, yeah.
The other thing, because it's been a while, Erica Thistledown said essentially if you make it to the bridge, to the Grand Bridge, she'll find you. That's where she offered to meet you. So
How many days do we expect that to be on the river then?
if you ask the goblin, he will tell you he thinks he could get there by sunrise, by 2 sunrises from now.
All right. In that case, I'm going to buy leather armor so I don't I'm not wearing plate on the river.
That's a sensible plan.
And what else was I gonna say? Okay.
I'll actually carry my leather armor this time around, which I will leave, carry in my hands. And
Please let me know if you're mapping, because
Yep.
the overland travel rate is halved when mapping and 1/10 when exploring. And it's an asterisk at the bottom. I wish I hadn't missed that.
I thought it was halved when exploring and 1/10 when searching.
If the party is exploring an area, instead of just passing through, distances traveled are 1/2 normal. This assumes that they're doing a 5-mile wide band. This exploration simply means mapping, not searching. And then it says searching is 1/10 normal.
Well, I wonder if we're on a boat, if it's maybe I could argue that we're not having to stop to do anything. Flanagan would just be up above marking landmarks as we're passing by them, so we don't have to stop to mark or measure anything.
yeah, you can draw the shore and stuff. It's not much of a map other than a picture of the shore,
Right.
but yes.
Actually, I agree with Dan there. I mean, it is a linear feature for the most part. And where it doesn't become a linear feature, like I'm going to show you more, you're going to be able to see, but you're probably, imagine the area you would actually map would probably be a mile or 2 instead of the whole area that you can see.
Right.
But you can
Go ahead.
remember it, but I don't know. As we continue.
I mean, if we're not passing through the entire hex, whatever the 5 is, like assuming a 5-mile wide hex, which obviously if we're just on the river, it's pretty limited.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next morning comes, and you hear a ruckus down by the water, and there are all of these little lumpy, mutated, crazy-looking, and they all have different features. They all look like just lumpy little humanoids, about 3 or 4 feet tall, and they just gawk at you. Some of them hiss and stuff as you arrive on the boat, and the captain's there, and he reinforces his promise to you. He says, if any of them try to steal anything, or if one of them stabs you,
Yeah.
I'll kill them all and get a new crew. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's kind of you.
Much appreciated.
Gracious.
Really, you can't argue with that kind of
They
thing.
won't do anything.
It's true. It's sincerity. It's a sincerity I must respect. This guy's fucking. This is alarming.
All right. And you set off to water. It's very uncomfortable. It's not made for you all, and all your gear that's covered up. Yeah, it just is very uncomfortable, and you're just squeezed in with all these little critters, and they're very wiggly. They're not calm. So it just makes it for a very uncomfortable journey.
Very windy.
And it is very cold, but the winds are favorable. I'm gonna go this far, and something happens when you get about this far. This area here is usually swampy. You can tell that there's this marshy area that's still frozen over, and the goblin captain stands up and says something in his language. He's like, and they just start chattering, and then all of a sudden they start screaming in unison. And one of them bellows on a horn, and there's this echoing sound, and it just echoes loudly throughout the forest, and birds like take flight nearby. And there's all these shapes that arise from the snowy swamp of the frozen river. This battle map is not frozen, but it'll do for now. As they are getting their own work done while they're taking you with them. And
Hush.
there are all these figures coming toward the boat.
And none of us broke into the song.
The song?
We're on a boat.
Oh.
Sorry, that's the first thing I thought of when I...
And for that, there was much rejoicing.
Any spells?
Sleep.
Okay. And roll a d6 Magnus. All right, they're able to go first. Movement and missile, they all they wade out into the water. The first line of them are able to make it out to the water, but just shy of the boat. The rest are coming after it.
How big, and are they swimming, or what are they doing? Walking, swimming?
Loping rapidly at like 25 miles an hour or something.
So they're the water is either shallow or they're very large.
Oh no! When they
Well,
get to the
both.
water, they just sort of just like you just see like a lump in the water, and it's just moving toward the boat.
Gotcha.
As they mostly submerge in the icy water.
Got it.
And
Submerged.
all right, they don't make it to the boat. The goblins they get up on the side of the boat, and they have tiny primitive crossbows. This is a well-equipped little pirate crew of troll hunting goblins. So
Cool.
they have,
Best kind of goblin.
yeah, they have a bunch of firepower actually. Hold on. Crossbow. No one's had a crossbow so far that I remember.
No, you're right.
So
Plus one to damage, or at least
light bolts, 60 feet, and they can only fire one per round, which is the big downside to them probably.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. It's a guaranteed 2 damage if it hits.
Okay.
Very respectable impact.
Yeah.
That's really the only advantage. So
Yeah, it counts for something.
it does in this game. It does.
Well, I always used to take it when I played a thief character and stuff like that. I always imagined myself like laying low or being on a rooftop, or just the idea of having a longbow or something like that just didn't really sell
Yeah.
it for me as a thief.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So I
too.
always took a crossbow as a thief.
All right. 6. They managed to slightly wound one of them.
Okay.
They just bolts fly out, and they start to get frantic, and they start trying to reload. And one of them knocks one of the goblins over into the other goblins into the icy lake. He immediately freezes to death.
Accident.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. And meanwhile, what are you all doing? You can move or fire missiles.
I couldn't find my. I didn't have my PDF open, so whatever. Somebody should let me know what the difference in AC is between leather and plate.
It's 4.
4. Okay, thank you. Anyway, I am firing my bow at.
Armor class 15. I see.
Okay.
Father Bloombadge, you hit for 4 damage.
Algar will be firing his sling.
Are they getting close enough that I should be? I actually imagine that I would have my spear out ready to push any back from the.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do any missile weapons yet.
Yeah, I'll say that you can create like an effect where they have to like save to overcome it.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. You're just trying to push them off with your spear. That makes sense.
Yeah. The last thing we want is them pulling on the boat and
Just
I don't know how big they are, but
capsizing
it'd be
here and now. Yeah, and being halfway there with no horses and no food, that'd be wild. On the wrong side of the water.
right.
Oh man. All right. Yeah.
After spending 2,000 GP.
After
I guess we could fish that out of the boat.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So you got 2 damage with your second shot there. You killed the first one. Anybody else? No. All right.
Sling.
Sling. Okay. Yeah. All right. I see that. Looks like it misses.
By the way, I get confused when we were talking about the snakeskin cloak and everything. This other group that we were playing that we actually stopped playing. It ended at the get together. We had the whole party had cloaks made out of a beast that we killed, which basically was a moonlit cloak. Whenever you were in moonlight, you were invisible in moonlight. Well, whatever moonlight hit. So you might be partially visible or whatever, and this other thing. It was a pretty cool cloak. It's from a creature that had that.
Okay. Spells.
Hit dice.
Yeah. Sorry. Hit dice. 6, I think it is. Let me see. 6 hit dice.
Holy crap! Well, then just +3.
Yeah. HD
Yeah, that's why I
6
always-
plus 3.
I always just.
Oh, plus. Okay, well then it just gets one of them.
All right. One of them falls asleep. And then we are back at the top. Any other spells?
Wait, is there any fire around?
No. But what are you trying to do?
On a
there?
boat?
Well, pyrotechnics only works if there's fire. So
You could make one really fast.
yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Like a torch.
So, yeah, someone toss me a torch.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll just
Okay.
grab a torch from someone. I don't actually have torches. I got candles.
So you declare pyrotechnics and light a torch.
Yeah.
Also roll a d6 for initiative.
And I've got to lower my arrows.
Nice. You're all able to act first. You can move if anybody's like going to jump off the boat. Sounds crazy, but you do it.
Oh, it
What,
does sound
at,
crazy. Yeah.
at what rate is the boat moving, or did they just bring it to a halt before any of this? Or are they keeping it in place? Or
No, yeah, that's a good point. I figure probably all of this is happening really fast. I think it says it happens in like a minute.
well, 1 minute per round. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's probably not making it very far with how fast these things are swimming.
But they're sort of on an intercept course.
Yeah.
Like we're not holding still, but neither are they.
But I mean, that's a good point. Do you want to try to tell them like, hey, leave these things? Actually, I'm sorry to answer your question. Sort of. Yeah, it's like they knew this was going to happen.
Well, first of all, I am going to tell the captain
Yeah, that's a great idea.
to keep moving. It's not that
Yeah.
we're leaving. It's not that we're not fighting them, but we need to move. And,
He
and
looks at you and he stoically and he's like, "We need the pelts. That's part of what funded the trip."
yes, understood. But we need to get them to trail us so that we don't have them ganging up on us. I'll remind him of our friendship and our close agreement.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, you did give us all that money. He smiles.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not telling you to run. Just move so we're not such an easy target.
All right. Now, anytime they aren't onto the boat already or grabbing onto it, the boat will move, and then they'll have to catch up, and they'll have a harder time doing that in the water. Okay, here we go. So let's see. You beat them. Anybody firing a missile can do that now.
Are these things? No, never mind. I'm casting a spell.
I hit
I'm
neither time.
I'm still
13.
here.
You said 14 was the AC?
15.
15. Okay, so I missed.
Father Bloombad, what's the rate of fire on your sling?
I think it's just 1-1.
It is one yet.
Okay.
I have it open right now.
All right. Nobody else. All right. Let's see here.
What about the goblins?
Yeah. And I don't think there's any kind of... That's kind of elegant. I think that accounts for the reload. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but...
With the sling?
No, the crossbow. It just has a rate of fire of 1.
Yeah, it's just 1.
So,
Yeah.
Heavy crossbows, 1 every
Heavy
2.
is
and,
heavy is 1/2. Just kind of like. Big chunks. Look at that.
yeah.
Wow.
They finish 2 of them, then and there, and wound another one. You know, I'll say even that the captain told them to aim for the ones near the boat.
Okay. Cool.
Tactical goblins.
Now, they will get to move. But since I will go ahead and let the boat move because of that. And let me check their movement rate. Movement of 12. Okay, they're really fast. So these will catch up on this turn, but the rest of them will have to... They'll just make it to the water. One's asleep. I'm also going to do a morale check. Wait, I did it wrong. Sorry. There we go. Thinking Shatterdark. I'm getting the games mixed up.
That do happen.
All right. They pass. Okay. All right. And that's the most they can do, except these 3 will try to grab onto the boat. They have to save. Make a strength save. One of
manages
them,
at least.
yeah, one of them does. Actually, 2 of them do. But the other one drifts off away from it, probably the wounded one. So let me kind of clarify the situation. These 2, you're trying to push them off, Flanagan, and you get one of them pushed off. You like jab his, he's already wounded. You jab his hand. He lets go, kind of floats away, and you're still just actively trying to push him off with Dark Spear. And
Awesome.
Pyrotechnics.
Yeah. So, the torch gets lit, and I chuck it off onto the to the edge of the shore, and then blast fireworks out of it in the direction of these fireworks and smoke in the direction of these trolls.
Okay. What does that do?
That's
Doesn't say.
that's entirely up to you. It's
What-
entirely up to the referee.
What was your intention with it? What were you trying to do?
Well, I want to blast smoke and fireworks in the faces of these
Yeah.
things as they try to pass by. It says it creates at least enough smoke to fill 8,000 cubic meters.
I'm just going to make a save for the remaining 2.
cubic feet.
It also
maybe.
says,
both
let's say
fail.
blinding smoke.
Yeah, it's
Either
blinding smoke.
fireworks or blinding smoke.
Now with
Well,
that,
I'd like to do a mix, but I
they're
want
both-
to sort of.
Mhm. Yeah, I got you. So they both failed their save. With that, they're blinded, and so the captain is gonna ground the ship and orient it, and then order all of his crossbows to fire at the surviving. Now, they just get a -4, being blinded, but D6 otherwise to see who's able to act first. Okay,
Yes.
you are able to act first. I'm gonna go ahead and fire for the goblins. This is at +4, I think it is. Or
Okay, so
Algar
not-
will employ his sling.
I'm sorry, I just never mind. It's when they. Okay. And
yeah, I'll
Um,
fire arrows at this point.
and we're gonna do another sleep here.
okay. 2,
Look at those dice. Oh my god.
5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Okay. That is enough to kill one more. And I'll do another morale check. And this time they fail miserably.
Oof.
At this point, unless you stop them, they will lope into the wilderness and flee.
Well, I'm not going to waste my spell,
I'm not wasting arrows.
so one of them goes to sleep.
Well,
All right.
At least, right, Ross?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you didn't want to waste your
No,
spell.
no, I don't want to waste. Well, but you said before that it fizzles, right? Or no?
Yeah, you did
Yeah, I
declare
think-
it. You did declare
So-
it. So
If I don't want it to fizzle, I'm gonna. Plus,
see what you
it gets
mean.
one more pelt for my friend.
indeed. All right. Which you're able to just come by and kill the beasts, and the goblins all disembark and eagerly and greedily. You've seen this kind of behavior before. Some of them start fighting amongst each other. The goblin captain comes through, makes judgments of who lives or dies and who's strong enough to get what. They divvy up their spoils. They cut off the troll fat and troll skins, and they load up the boat. And if it wasn't comfortable before, now you have this smelly troll oil and fat and skin piled up, on you. But it is warm, which is an unexpected benefit.
dude.
It's like the tauntaun treatment.
Yeah.
I recover at least the half of them because half of one because they're on the actual ones that I hit. The ones that are in the woods, I'm not looking for.
What are you looking for?
I fired
Arrow.
2 that hit. And
Oh.
2 that I'm not looking for the ones that missed, but the 2 that hit, I figure they're easy to find. So I'll recover one of the arrows from that.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so that was just a couple of hours into the day. It is only about. It is evening time when you see the bridge in the distance. At this point, the goblin captain brings it to the bank and they create a campfire. He looks around, sees his crew celebrating, getting drunk on troll fat. He looks at you and he says, "I will do another hunt. I will keep them here, and I will be here. I will wait. But I would not recommend you make camp near my crew. They're distracted. I think you should get your weapons."
Will do.
Thank God we did meet on
Fair enough.
So you're willing to wait a week?
We will make be
Got enough
made,
to gorge yourselves.
we will do well in a week.
Excellent.
Or we'll hear rumor of troll-eating goblins, but whatever.
A pleasure doing business with you, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. So
Ross, do we recognize this bridge as the one that we saw a long time ago that leads? This is the Old Coast Road going across this bridge.
yeah, you did see this bridge before. This is the ancient bridge of the kingdom of the one true king in times of lost glory when This was a great, massive bridge. It's now covered in earth and moss, and even then frozen over and cracked earth that's fallen, and then chunks of the stone have fallen out in places and underneath the bridge. There is also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, if there's more description, by all means.
Oh yeah, I got a few things to kind of describe in the area where you are. Although it is nighttime, but there is something that you would see here as well. So it's nighttime. But you do see the bridge from where you are, and you also see there is a narrow gorge with an overhanging rock ledge. There are turbulent rapids here, but you can see that it echoes into the stream splits off, going into some giant cavern.
Well, that's not a place to try to hole up for the night.
I would agree not. No.
Oh, maybe we should keep an eye on it though. Or
Well, we need to move on far enough away from the goblins.
right. But,
Yeah.
Don't
and
worry. I know if you play. I'm certain that with a few moments, I can find a decent place for us to make camp.
this is the place where we said she said that she would see us, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the bridge.
Yeah, by the bridge.
There is a slight problem, however. She said she would meet you here on the day of the festival, and it is currently the 23rd of Deidre Fomhar. It is 8 days before.
Wait, we got here in less than a day?
Yes. Now, don't worry.
Oh man, we could have been.
We got a whole gorge to explore.
You know,
Yeah.
let's not be silly. You can explore if you want, but I probably didn't. I didn't express that well enough. I think the goblin captain would have said that. I think we talked about it. He said maybe 2 or 3 days, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days.
But you would have been here for several days. So you can also just make another round trip if you want to save some food. But ultimately, it's going to be several days that you're going to have to wait.
Well, I mean, we're so used to leaving and giving ourselves lots of time because we get waylaid.
Right. It's true.
I imagine
we talked about that, I think.
Yeah, I think we did plan on leaving well beforehand.
I was expecting so many more problems with a goblin crew.
Right?
Yeah. I'm here.
So
I'm gonna put my plate mail on.
yeah, it wouldn't be silly to say, I guess we have to go and find some problems.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
camp out. Do we have enough food to camp out for a
How
week?
many?
I certainly do.
I do, but not enough to get back from camping out for a week.
Oh, there's
We
the
are
cave.
blessed with the presence of a holy man of the Orders of the Light. If we can find anything that's vaguely edible, we can make a feast of it. And I'm certain that despite the chaos which still corrupts this place, we can find something vaguely edible.
But for now, let's just you go ahead and find us a good spot for the night that's out of sight but not out of earshot of those goblins.
Alright. If I recall correctly, there are still certain protective wards over the road in this area which make it a bit safer than far from it. We should, I think we might be able to make a decent safe camp under the bridge, actually. Not entirely safe, but if we tuck ourselves under it, out of the way of things, I think
Old
it'll
school homeless. Let's go.
It's safer than some alternatives, and it'll hold heat a little better.
A ranger should know.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
true.
also possible I'm completely wrong out of character. I'm just saying things that sound rangery and hoping they're correct.
Well, I trust your judgment in character.
Magnus
Clarified in character.
Magnus gives you the side eye and says,
Yeah,
well,
welcome
from what I remember and from my childhood stories, under the bridge is where the troll lives.
We are the troll, my good sir. We're far more dangerous than any troll.
Well, that's
I
true.
am the danger. Sorry.
Well,
Wasn't there a cave? Wasn't there a cave under the bridge?
There is, but I suspect that something nastier than trolls might dwell within it. And I don't mean us. My instinct would be to give it a wide berth.
let's
I mean, we have 8 days.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You've twist my arm. You've talked me into it. Let's go poke around in the cave.
no. Let's spend the night under the bridge first.
Okay.
Then poke Arn in
Okay.
the cave.
Recharge your dwellers.
Yes.
Get nice rest. Have a good breakfast.
All right.
Clean the scent of dead troll and living goblin out of my robes.
Let's see how the night goes.
They were certainly industrious fellows. I can't fault them that.
Yes.
Only they could apply that industry with a modicum of sanity.
All right. The night passes, and the morning comes. In the night, for all of you, when you're on watch, you can see the stars in the sky. It's a crisp, silent winter night, and the stars are so bright, so painfully luminescent, that the trees are almost illuminated in their bright snow that covers them all, and the ground is a stark white. Everything is completely still, except that you can see in the dark. Sometimes you think a dancing light, which you think might be the twinkling of a star on the horizon, but every so often you think perhaps too low to be in the sky. Otherwise, nothing happens, and you awaken the next day. And where do you go?
Let's check out the gorge, I suppose.
Yeah, might as well, hey?
Is this near any place that we have traveled before? We hit the shore like once out of the multiple trips that we did. Remember when we were chasing the caster troll?
Yeah.
My predecessor, when in his notes for me, mentioned that you guys did travel down this way when you were heading far to the west on your crusade against the hobgoblins.
Right,
Sorry,
and
against the chaos men.
yes, and
You did see this.
Yeah, we weren't on the road at that time. So I'm just saying, does this Flanagan look familiar to any of your mappings? What we see this turn in the road with a bridge? Did we run across anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, we saw this bridge from afar, but we never crossed onto this side, so this is all new.
Well, that's fine, but so where does that place it in relation to? Here it is. Thank you. So let's see. That's the road. So is the bridge? Where would you think this bridge is on this map?
The one bridge over the river. That's
okay.
shown.
That's that bridge. Okay, cool. And we were lost here, and we were heading north. We were heading north to chase after the trolls. The trolls crossed the river, so they're on the other. Maybe we should go on the other side of the river later.
Now that it's
north
sunrise, I should also describe what all you can see. I apologize.
Sure, yeah.
Just to help with your decision making here. This is frozen marsh, okay? But in the distance, this frozen marsh, there is a tall and gnarly building that you can see. Let me see if I actually have a picture of it.
Gnarly. Ooh.
Yeah, I do. You can see this quite clearly off in the distance.
Ooh.
It has this overhang from the marshes, and it's almost as if the bottom parts of this are kind of like mud or ice or cavern, and and then you have these steep, steeples. Father Bloombad, it looks like it might be a church. That is one thing that you see. You see that further into the marshes, this way. And then near the bridge where you are, I can't quite put the token where you would be. You'd be like here, though, I guess. There is this overhang where the water separates out and it goes into a giant cavern. You also see in the distance a large forest, a snowy fortress, and ahead of you an open, icy field with the remains of a road that leads into the far north, a place no one goes.
So you said that when you said a snowy fortress, that's the thing that you just showed us a picture of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. You said forest and then you said fortress. Did you mean forest?
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said fortress. No, not fortress. Yes,
Okay.
Snowy forest. Weird. Yes, forest.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
The church thing is over to the northwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so and then the water, you said it splits. Now, when it runs down into the cavern, is it possible to get there outside of the water? Is there like enough of a bank that you can walk along the water and get into the same cavern?
It would be slow moving, but you could slowly move along the large rocks that lay next to the rushing water.
I'm going to look over at Father Bloombad and point to the building in the distance and say, shall we appease our curiosity?
Yes, yeah, I do believe we should.
Interesting.
Well then, we approach cautiously,
Great.
keeping our wits about us.
So does this place look? I mean, in the picture, it's like in the sky. Is this or like pretty tripped out up in the roots sort of thing? Is this how it looks?
It's
Or is
not
it
that tall. These structures are maybe 20 or 30 feet tall. This is overlooking like a marsh. So just imagine like a large piece of terrain forming a jutting, gnarled cliff, with a bunch of trees sticking out of it and stuff. And this thing hangs over the water as if there used to be something here and it's since eroded away underneath. But it's not up in the sky. It's up maybe 30, 40 feet, above the water line. But
Got it.
slanting up from the terrain nearby. Oops, I forgot my... Oh, here we go.
Oops, did I lose people's sound?
Nope.
Okay, good. Because it got quiet and I have it covered with the map and the image and the rest of it.
Yeah.
This is something where I have to kind of read a little bit.
Yeah. Time.
Thank you. Okay, the approach that you take to get here, as you get closer, Father Bloombad, it's clear to you that these are in fact temples. They are temples of an ancient and somewhat perhaps foreign design, not common to the lands of Albion, but not entirely. You have a vague, I think I've seen temples like that before. You can see, let's see here. So, from the direction you all are approaching, There is a silence here, mixed with an aura of dread desolation of this cloister. As you get closer to the buildings, Father Bloombad, you realize this is not just a temple, but this is a monastery ground. These are cloisters for monks. It is cold and battered by winds here. There's a sense of decay and abandonment. All of a sudden, the wind like knocks at you, but then you realize like you feel like it come the other direction, and then you like pull your snakeskin robe up closer to you, and then the wind scrapes along your hand and blood pours down from your hand as you realize something has gouged your hand from the wind, and it's like the wind itself is attacking you. And
Whoa!
I think we can roll for surprise. Algar, roll a d6, please.
I'm not admitting anything, but I'm a little surprised.
3.
3. Okay, yeah, you're not surprised. So you all start to see this happen. You see one of your companions get spun around and knocked into the snow, and then one of your companions is holding a bloody hand as the wind starts to whip back and forth. And then there are small little pockets of wind, but it feels as if it's just the wind, but the wind sharp enough and aggressive enough and with a will. And anyways, you could declare spells.
I guess I might as well try sleep.
Oh, that's a good opener.
All right. Roll a d6 for initiative, please. Okay, you are able to act first. What do you do?
What can we see?
It just feels like the wind. You see nothing.
We see each other. We see the snow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You see the cloister, the building ahead of you.
How far ahead of us?
It's probably 30 feet ahead of you.
Oh,
Cloister?
Chloe.
Oh, we're close.
It's very
Yeah,
close.
it's once you start getting closer to the building, you can see from where you are that there are some other tiny outbuildings, some little forest land. This is you on top, by the way. This is on the back side of this, because the south is on the other side of this, and this is kind of northish. But anyways, and then on the other side, you can see kind of where the cliff just dives off, and you have the last cloister on the back side, which is just right here. But anyways,
Sorry.
yeah, and yeah, that's it.
Okay.
There's a dock. This is actually closer down, like this slants up, so this is very stylized. But this slants up to get here, and there's a dock down here, so you can see that too. There's nothing at the dock except an old boat that's useless, like an old Johnny boat that's sunk.
Are there doors that are open, or doorways, or it
to this cloister?
yeah.
Yeah, the door is open.
So we might
Stay or go.
rush in.
I'm just gonna
Rush in,
shout.
fire.
I'm gonna shout out. Stay or go.
Go in.
Yeah, I mean,
Run.
we can't even see what we're fighting. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so let's
Of course,
rush.
it's going to be out of the fire into the frying pan. Out of the frying pan into the fire in a colder way.
it does
One
feel
of
that
those,
way.
yes.
Okay, you hear something grinding and scraping and scratching, a consistent, yeah, as well as like a crunching, scraping noise from somewhere within. As you rush inside, you at least have a reprieve from the wind, but not these individual slicing, cutting winds. You see
God.
inside of here these oak gates, these big, heavy, ancient oak gates that are just open. The hinges rusted and old. Tall, dry grass is frozen still among the courtyard. And you enter past these gates in the cloister, and you can see this frozen ground of a courtyard with stacks of old, frozen, rotted grain frozen to the ground. stacked near a northwest tower. You can see around you to the left, and to the right are towers with closed doors. There is an open door to your right, departing the courtyard. An old frozen tree that looks like something is wrong with it, and it is sick. In another part of the courtyard to the southeast. And I'm sorry if you're trying to map. I wasn't quite
That's okay.
switching into mapping, but the towers are to the northeast and northwest. And
Okay.
The courtyard is 25, 30. The courtyard is about 70 feet east to west and about 50 feet north to south.
Okay. And there was a door somewhere too?
On the center of the west wall of the courtyard is an open oak door.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
To the
So
south.
these towers.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
These towers are just beyond the courtyard. Like we can see them, but where they're not accessible from the
No,
courtyard.
they're inside the courtyard. There's a closed door to each that leads into
Oh my
them.
gosh. Okay. Okay.
And there's a portcullis to the southwest, a closed double door directly to the south, and that's all that's here.
Okay. I know we just moved.
Sure. Are we entering from what direction are we entering from?
You are entering from the north. So you would have had to have started and then saw that this was open and then bolted toward the open door on the north side of it.
Okay. And there's a door in the west as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm making the worst map ever, but at least we have an idea of what.
Well, the more I think about this, the more I think staying is a bad idea. I think this is something we need to attempt at a later time.
Why?
I'll tell you why, because we don't know nearly enough. I need to learn about this place. I need to learn what these things are. We need to come in prepared, not just running in a panic from something that we can't see and we have no idea what awaits us. This is just got bad news written all over it. People have died. People have died under my watch before, and I'm not going to have it happen tonight.
Bookish,
Call it cowardice if you will.
overcautious.
Yeah, call
No,
it cowardice.
I said bookish overcautiousness is another way to die.
Nonetheless. Okay,
I'm
Well, we
inclined to
have
agree
a
with judgment.
we have a week if we can walk away from this for sure. We don't have to rush in, but the next day we may decide if there's a better way to approach it or something.
maybe I can at least have some different spells than the ones I've got right now.
Is the goal to flee?
The goal is now to flee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can do that.
If it dares to chase us, we'll make it regret it.
Well, I mean, I did declare sleep before, so
that does
and we
not
did-
seem
we-
to do anything.
yeah, I didn't expect that it would, but
We're at the mercy of this invincible stalker thing.
So you
Yeah.
swing at it and see if it bleeds.
well, yeah, but also
I mean, we're gonna.
yeah, sure, but also it attacked when we passed a certain threshold and came close to this thing. We're only 30
Might
feet
be a
away when we
territory.
attacked.
So basically, you can flee, but they'll get a chance to hit you. Otherwise, you can flee off into the snow and away from this place.
So can any of us not take one of the hits?
We don't
That
know.
would
I'm
be the
good.
answer.
We can't see
I'm
what it
good.
is.
Well, what damage did you get so far?
No one's
Nobody
done
got
any
hit,
so
right?
far. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was just descriptive. Got it.
There it is.
Well,
Okay, here we go. So, there. All right, here we go. All right. This is for Algar and Father Bloombad. Algar does a 19 hit,
Yes.
and Father Bloombad, this maybe the force of this tells you something. This is a 25 to hit. And
I have 18 armor class.
all right,
25 to hit.
25 to hit. And it does. This is for Algar. It does
Dang.
eight damage to Algar. This thing does.
Oh, my bones.
And for Father Bloombad, it does 11 damage. And otherwise,
I'm
you are
dropped
able
from 22
to
to 14.
flee. And you flee back out into the snowy wilderness. You hear your breath and the crunching snow as you flee back into the forest.
Wow.
That's nasty.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm just gonna draw a little pagoda here. You have this temple. Now, I forgot to mention, you all noticed, perhaps as you were fleeing, that there were these little grotesque statuettes. Now, Father Bloombad, you would know that many portions of Albion love their statuary of various kinds, from gargoyles to saints to angels and everything like that. But these were grotesque. They were not. They were something misshapen. They were depicting something different. In your flight, you couldn't quite make out what they were, but you knew these were not gargoyles. They were not protectors. They were not angels or saints, but some grotesque figures carved into stone.
Ugh. Well, I'm personally very tempted and interested to go back in there, but I know we're here for a reason. So I don't know. It seems like we've got to decide what we're going to do for that. Do you want to just hole up? Look, so there's the gorge. There's that thing. There's just like staying put and waiting as well, right?
I say if we're gonna, just stay put. If we don't want to explore anything, let's just stay put.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm okay with exploring. I'm okay with either. But if we're gonna go explore, let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm just saying we have something to explore. We're not gonna explore it. We might as well just then not go any further and risk going far from the place. We have this place conveniently close to here. I'm not gonna go far to look for something if we're not gonna do anything here. So let's just hole up until the thing happens.
You could also take the risk of waiting until he comes back. Since he's trawling the river, the goblin captain, and take the risk of going back and just staying at Caden's Rest and then coming back again. The downside of that is there's a chance that something could happen.
Yeah, no, why would we do that? That's just more encounters and more risks of boat problems and stuff. We're already here. We're already here.
Speaking of encounters, half the day passes as you set up a camp. I imagine Algar is doing all sorts of super awesome survival tricks to make the snow bearable and the negative 20 Fahrenheit nights not so negative 20 Fahrenheit.
No, Algar's biggest vice is that he has a habit of working harder and not smarter, so he's probably not doing anything as clever as you'd hope. He's just doing the basics and a lot of them.
Also, I would have cast Cure Light Wounds on Algar and myself.
Thank you.
Nice.
For that.
Assuming
would I roll, or would you like to?
7 Algar and 3.
My wounds are almost completely undone. I feel fantastic.
I have a question for the party. After we're assuming we complete this successfully, the party thing, would it be something that we maybe scout like for mapping purposes, because we fled and we didn't do a lot of mapping, scout from a distance, like maybe using some stealthy distance monitoring and see what the hell we have this whole layout looks like.
Yeah, to see if anything's moving in there, like if we're close enough.
I mean, frankly, I'm not opposed to doing that while we wait.
Right.
I think we should. No, we ran from it. Let's not get ourselves in a situation where we might be attacked and then have a problem where we can't do the party. Let's do the party and do this after, because the party's the goal.
Well, no, but I think what Chris is saying is we're already camped. Depending on how far we are, like maybe we're here for 6 days.
It would be prudent to scout our environment. What we just did was scouting. I'm fine with scouting. I'm not fine with leaping into a dark hole sight unseen.
like, yeah, or just stay without, like, we went 30 feet away from it. Like, we could just
Yeah.
stay far enough that we can see movement from a distance or
Right.
whatever. Find a
Okay.
place to,
Surveil it.
yeah.
But it might have patrols, and it might, remember, we can't see this thing, so the risk is here before the party. I'll do it because remember, I'm willing to go inside the place, so I'm going to do it. But just be aware, I'm devil's advocating here. The fact that we fled from this, just an outside thing, means we may be, asking for trouble.
Right, but we
before
stay here anyways. It's in our proximity.
E-
Like,
Everything is different when your enemy is invisible.
We don't have a real way to
So
like.
so
handle that.
until we that's a specific problem that
And it hit like a truck. I've been stabbed by swords less painful than that.
25 to hit. That's a I mean, that's a what did he roll, a 17?
Something like that.
Yeah, so 17, that's a plus
This is
plus
what I
7,
like about
7 hit dice monster.
Yeah, I hate knowing that stuff. This is
No,
what
I don't.
I
I think we would know it. We would
Yeah,
know
I-
it
I
just
feel
by
like-
how hard it hit.
Yeah, I feel like your
it's
character.
8 damage is 8 damage.
Ross said that we would. That's why he told us what the hit roll
Something
was.
I'm just saying,
happens.
8 damage is 8 damage.
While you are discussing all this, like all the,
I've been hit by
how
swords
painful
for
that
8 damage.
was, and whether or not you would know how painful it was, and where you're going to go, and where you're going to stay, and
Yeah.
y'all are like talking about this stuff and everything, trying to work it out. When all of a sudden these little figures appear, and they're like wading in on your conversation. They're like they're standing there like nodding their heads like as if they're in on the conversation as well. And I don't know how to describe these little things except that they're sort of like they're humanoid and completely green, and not like just a goblin, but like very green and very featureless, and very almost plain and rubbery in that they just have no features except a plain white eyeball, and they're green.
Gumby,
and
damn
they
it!
have fangs, and they're just like smiling and listening and everything. And they wear these hats, and one of them's listening, and he takes his hat off, and it has a quill and a parchment, and he scratches something on it. He nods to you and puts it under his hat, and he bows a little bit, and then he dances off into the forest, and then these other things dance off after him.
I sniffed
What the hell
my
was
daughter's
that?
skin.
I believe those are some of our hosts in the near future.
were they taking notes or what? I mean,
probably
they
one of the
were
most
taking
interesting
notes.
things in the area.
This might be all them sizing us up.
Apparently. Well, I mean, I guess, is there a place, back to our discussion,
Yeah.
is there a place, if we're going to camp here, where we can kind of surveil that cloister from afar? Like a little hill or something we can get up on and see over the brush or something.
Yeah, you can do that. And everything seems still and motionless from your vantage point. You don't see anything happening there.
In the
None of the
daylight,
entrances.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see anything before either.
Right. But if we wait, I mean, we might as well, if we've got days, I guess I'm kind of wondering if we're going to take days.
okay, while we have daylight here on this first day after our, once we've patched our wounds a bit, let's do a similar surveil of the cave mouth where that water runs into, because is there light shining into it, like far enough to see what is it, and how big is it too, this cavern? How tall, how wide?
It's massive. It's probably 25 feet tall and 70 feet wide. It is a gaping maw of a cavern space, rushing water pouring into it. Essentially, a second fork in the river leads in here. Let me see if I even have this.
So this is like, okay, I'll let you keep going first.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I wouldn't.
Well, so this is like, looks like there is a fork on the river on the map, but we're talking about some, like a cave underneath somewhere, right? There's like a big...
Yeah, so like basically what happens is one fork in the river continues on,
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't see this unless you're close to the bridge. But if you're close, there's this, because you camped there, there's this drop off, and there's a waterfall, and you can see rocks leading down either side, and there's this vast cavern where, when you're close enough, you can see that the river splits off into this big cavern.
The thing you've shown us, we don't see anything. We just see
No,
the corner of the bridge. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so here, I'll just bring it closer to the bridge. There's nothing really to see. The river continues on under the bridge, but what you can't see unless you're right up on the bridge is here underneath this lip is a fork in the river, and it goes into this giant cavern.
Okay. Is it on the south side or the north side?
South side.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so it's big, it's wide. So does that mean there's enough sun? It can let in enough light that we can see whether or not it just continues on straight into the darkness, or is there a bend, or does it narrow rapidly, or?
You can tell that it continues on into the darkness. It is a massive cave and goes on in for a long ways.
Okay.
Is this the next day then?
I think it's
No.
later on the first day.
Yeah, later.
This is
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see what's in the cave. I think it's worth scouting.
Yeah, let's take a quick walk
Okay.
and be ready to run. I'm not going to apologize.
Well, I can't join in a run because I'm walking at 6.
So is this a?
I
Is
just
there?
realized that.
Is it completely
Water does
water? Is the floor completely water, or is, is the floor completely water, or is it possible to walk in?
It is possible to clamber along large, jagged and rocks that go along either side. In fact, you have to kind of climb down because it starts out as a waterfall. So you have to kind of climb along the rocks along the edge to get in.
Okay. Well, hold up a second. So is this like a spelunking situation then?
No, not yet, as far as you know. But it's just something where you'd have to clamber.
Okay. Well, then, if we're clambering, let's go ahead and tie rope to each other, shall we?
Of course. I have the necessary equipment.
Okay.
Long ago, my predecessor purchased a set of a climbing kit with pythons, so I can ensure that we can travel with safety, albeit not with silence.
Okay. If it starts to look like, as we go deeper into the darkness, if it starts to look like it's going to take another like sharp downturn, I do not intend to follow it, a waterfall situation, or get into a spelunking thing. But again, I'm just trying to discern what what it is we're dealing with here.
If we're fortunate, perhaps we'll find a secure shelter here.
That would indeed be fortunate.
It is a long ways. It is about 250 feet of slow clambering, actually 600 feet across, and 250 feet in elevation of clambering among rocks until eventually, although it is rocky, it starts to get dark. And the light from the entrance, the roaring of the waterfall, it kind of drowns out all of the noise nearby, except you do hear in the darkness, in the distance, you hear a clink, 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 like a clinking of something hard upon something hard.
Is it like a blacksmith's hammer?
It does sound like a artifice of some kind.
Fascinating. Let us proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point
we'll light lanterns and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Elric, you've got your golden, the glowing golden spear.
Yeah,
right?
but that's only 20 feet all together.
Yeah, it's not that great.
Diameter, 10-foot radius.
Who shall hold the lantern?
I
It
shall.
Okay.
It'll prevent me from being caught in pitch dark, but that's about it.
That's pretty good.
And
As we've established, not being able to see your opponent really
Actually,
sucks.
Yep.
if somebody could hand me a torch instead, I need to start carrying torches again. I've been like, but now
Yeah.
that I've got pyrotechnics as a thing, I think I need to be carrying a torch.
I have a torch.
and to be clear, do
Now
we
you
have
have a
anybody?
torch.
Do we have anybody moving at 2 squares, or are we all moving at 3?
I'm moving to 3.
I made it to 3. I forgot to subtract the weight allowance. So yes, I'm at 3.
Strength bonus, yeah.
Okay.
But barely.
This area, it takes a long time to traverse it. Let's see. So it takes you about 30 minutes just to make it further in until the sounds of the waterfall grow less thunderous. It doesn't drown things out. You hear the sounds of cavern around you. The cavern ceiling is probably 400 feet tall. This place is massive. And it just goes on into the darkness as far as you can see. You can see massive, unearthly stalactites, hanging. And sometimes both stalagmite as well, from floor to ceiling, like giant, temples in the distance or something, or buildings. And then the clink, clink, clink grows louder, and you hear an otherworldly chattering noise of some language I don't think anyone knows. Like a ga 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 ga. Does anybody speak any weird languages?
Nope, Norse only.
I think
I speak Giantish.
Okay, yeah.
Chaos and serpentine.
Yeah, none of you recognize this language, except that it does sound like the chatter of the creatures that you rode on the boat with to get here.
Okay.
How many voices are we talking about?
Dozens, but many.
Do we take them on?
Again, I don't know. Like,
Leave to you guys.
Let's.
I guess I'm kind of. There's a part for me, which is it's kind of weird, but like if we're not able to map it very well, it's harder to like. The only reason I'd want to do anything about it is if we're gonna know more exits, like if we're exploring, I guess, right? Like if we're gonna attack them, let's find out like what's further, so we have more ideas of how to delve later or even in this session. But if we're not doing that, like we've done a little bit of scouting, then let's just back off. Like if we're attacking, let's get into this cave and spend the session doing it. If we're not doing that this session, then let's just back off. We know it's here.
I'm comfortable with doing that.
That's my vote, at least.
I have a whole person. If you have a sleep, I mean, that might help.
Yeah, I have a sleep. I got 2 scrolls of sleep. Got a charm person slot if necessary.
If it is a big gaggle of goblins, my concern is not that we can't. Like, I'm sure we can win the engagement at first, but the problem with goblins is that they're too dumb to cow. Like, we could be hewing a bloody swath through them, and they'll just keep coming because they're too
And if they
aggressive and dumb to grasp what they're losing.
If they have bows, we could be in big trouble.
And they probably do.
Okay. All right. Well then, once again, bookish discretion will have to be the better part of valor here.
Experience points are nice. Surviving is better.
But now we know. Goblin cave.
It's true. Valuable information.
Yeah, but when are we going to come out here?
Oh, probably again.
Well, it only takes a day to get here by boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what's the attraction to come out here? This is an as you go, in my opinion.
I'll leave it to whichever caller makes that call.
Okay.
Okay, you make it back out. It takes about another 20 minutes to clamber your way up the rocks steeply, 350 feet, to make it back to the waterfalls that crash between either side. And eventually you make it back to the waterfront where the icy river flows rapidly today. It is very cold out. It's probably 5 degrees Fahrenheit. The winds have calmed down, and it's a quiet and still icy day, and you only hear the waterfall.
What time of day is it now after all that?
Right, at this point it is toward the end of the day.
Okay. All right. So we've explored the area, the items of interest that we could easily see. Yes, from here.
There's 2 more. There's the snowy forest and the open clearing.
Well, the snowy forest is just a forest.
Likely so.
Well, no, not likely so. What I mean by that is I'm terrified of all forests.
A fair cop.
I vote no forest.
Yeah.
And the open clearing is where?
Just to the north, I think. North and east.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it just continues on to the northeast out of sight.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Let's pack it in for the night then.
All right. Now from here, where do you plan to go next? So, are we skipping time, I guess, is my question.
I'm content with skipping time from here. If everybody, like I said, we've seen the 2 places that look like we could go inside of them, and without ranging too far afield, I think. Unless y'all want to just make a quick scouting trip tomorrow, like up north, and see what might be there, but I'm not dying of curiosity on that.
No. I think it's fair to fast forward to the ferry party. Get some time for that.
I really have to use the bathroom. My apologies. I'll be right back.
Forbidden.
So
You may never pee.
you settle in for 6 days, 5 days. This is the first day. What did I write down?
I'll wait for the encounter table. It's
Oh,
doggone.
I'm sorry. It's 7 days. So this is the 2nd day, 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, and 7th day. Alright. So, do you want to go use the bathroom, or do you want to wait?
I would really like to.
I understand. Okay.
All right, we should let it be.
And I could have cured like wounds myself to full health at that point, right?
I think the mic is messing up again.
I could have cast Cure Light Wounds enough to heal Algar and myself up by that point, right?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I was only down by 1 at that point anyway, so I would have healed up overnight.
For future endeavors, perhaps we could take like bags of ash soaked with water to throw at the invisible creature, and I could cast Protection from Evil 10-foot radius, which might give us an attack on it.
Wait, what was that spell that you said you were going to cast?
Protection from Evil 10-foot radius.
Ah, yes. I have a bag of flour, but my suspicion is that if I cast a bag of flour onto whatever that thing was, it would just disperse on the winds.
Yeah. Soggy ash would probably adhere to it much better.
Perhaps so.
I'll wait till he gets back. Can you imagine playing a game for a year and a half, and then a day travel from where you started the game is so hard it could kill you just in one encounter?
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can believe it.
I redid the math. That was a +8. That was
Yeah,
a +8.
those things will hit like a truck.
If they, yeah. Anyways.
So here it
That-
is. It's the this is the second day, and it's just before it's sunset. You all are kind of getting everything ready. All of a sudden, these things are sitting with you around the campfire, and they try to surprise you. Algar, roll a d6.
I'm often punished. I might suffer for this. I'm very humble. But not this time.
All right, cool. Roll a d6 for initiative. Magnus. A 1. They are able to attack first. They all attack Algar. They look at Algar with this hungry look. They're these green humanoid things, right? These semi-Gumby looking people with the fangs, right? And they just look at Algar like, man, he looks really yummy. And they leap on you to attack. All right, now one of them, let's see, does all right, 19?
Yeah, AC is 14.
All right.
Sorry, 15.
Now, it's just kind of annoying. You take 1 damage as this thing bites into your shoulder and starts making its way around your neck. You throw it off, and then it goes like this. It has your blood in its mouth. It goes, and it takes off its hat. And it takes a paper and it scribbles something, puts the paper under its hat, and then it scampers off into the wilderness again. And disappears.
Oh my god.
Do we get a chance to do something or no?
Oh, you want to follow it?
I was thinking more like I cast Hold Person on it.
Do it.
Well,
I don't know if
it disappears.
Qualified as a person.
When I say disappear, it immediately scampers into a nearby frozen grove. So you could pursue it in there if you want to try to hold person on it. If you'd like to do that, do you do that?
I'm not going to stop you. I'm curious where this will lead us.
I got 180-foot range on that. I can't catch him like as he's scampering away.
Yeah, take the shot.
That's the mic is messing up, but I'm gonna say
I have an 180-foot range on it. There's no way I could like do it as it's going away.
I'm gonna say that you have to like run up to see it and then do it. And besides that, you guys were just sitting around. You were sitting around at a campfire, and all of a sudden this just happened. So
I'll go with them.
Oh,
sure. I'll go with them too.
I'm going to try to charm him.
If Magnus is going, I want to keep him protected. So,
and obviously, if they're all going, then I have to go with them to keep these guys protected.
And we don't have any horses, so there's no point in me staying behind.
All right.
That's how it goes.
But I am the last to follow in this case. All right, whatever. I'm getting tired of running in this armor.
Heavy.
I need this book.
I wear a plate so I don't run.
mm-hmm.
I wear leather, I'll run. Ran from goblins.
Algar, what is a secret off the top of Algar's head that you would know? A secret. Or you can message it to me, because it might be like a secret ranger secret that his rangers keep secrets from the other players, unlike any other character.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, 1 sec. I will toss it over to you.
All right, here we go. And I also need. Is this in Discord?
Yes.
Sorry, I have to. Let's see. And it's direct message. I'll just wait for that in Discord.
Yes.
Actually,
there we
I'll
go.
just
Done.
Right. Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty relevant to Algar, but also it's not like quite. If it gets outed, it's not gonna like catastrophically transform the world. But it will definitely create some weird incentives for the Fae.
Probably Algar wouldn't know this, but you no longer know that secret. It's as if you never knew it.
It's a huge problem for him, potentially.
Oh, geez.
And let me set this up.
Locks me out of the special secret club.
Well, I'm gonna try to kill that thing now. If no, I don't know that. Never mind.
No. What you can do is hit it with a bag of oranges or a bag of potatoes.
No. If I knew that he stole a secret, I'd kill him.
Nah, he just bit me.
But I'm just saying, if I knew that, you know why? Because death penalty for stealing is there. They use the Northman method here.
There you go.
There you go.
You chase these things into the woods, and you find that as you peel across some branches, you come into a snowy clearing where the patches of snow abruptly end, and yet the snow does not melt. And you see a sickly yellow sky all about you. And here among raised beds are exotic herbs. They've gone to seed, and they're overflowing their allotted space in the paths, the brick paths in between each raised bed. And you hear, and then there's a hedge around this place and a pathway, and you think you can hear movement beyond, leading further into the pathway in the hedge.
We're here again. And I don't want to be here.
No, let's backtrack. Chasing this thing isn't worth entering this blighted place.
It's the day. It's the day of retreating.
Yeah, Flanagan's just no. Let's get out of here if we can right away.
This place sucks.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got 5 days of this ahead.
Oh well, he
Stay
rolled
in the damn camp.
We have truly been having the time.
Forward.
Well, we tried.
Crank
I mean,
this
this is what you asked for, Magnus. I mean, this is you want to come to this party. I mean, this is what we expected, isn't it? I mean, we're not even at the party yet. Wait until the party. It's going to be
party
like
should be nicer. Party.
Yeah, that's what you say. I've yet to see anything to do with these folk. That's been something that I would consider to be nice.
I don't think these are the ones hosting the party.
Well,
sure hope not.
2 days pass, and here you are. You're preparing your campsite for the night again. And tonight, the moon is, I don't remember what this is called, but it's what you call waxing. But it's not there just yet, but it's waxing, and you see a bright moon-filled sky as a result. And nearby, in one of the frozen marshes, you see a figure arise from the marsh. And it has in its clutches one of those green things. And it's like, "You've been such a naughty boy, a naughty, naughty boy." And it throws it down onto the ground in front of you all. And there's an old woman. And she has this like grandmotherly, gentle kind of quality to her. And she's like, "My precious, precious boys, I am so sorry for his behavior. Now you go and you make it right now. Right now." And this thing is like, "Whoa," and it's weeping, and it runs over to Algar, and I don't know, probably like spits in its hand, and then like puts it on your ear or something, you know? Yeah, or maybe.
How pleasant.
Yeah, it's not great. Blah. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have this memory back, and then it weeps and it like stalks off, and it's like, "Now, I had to travel to make this right. Do you have any food for me? I'm so hungry."
Yes, of course.
"Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you, Magnus. You're a kind lad. You're such a sweetheart."
That's the first time I've heard that in my life.
Really, ever?
I thank you.
Well,
And I hand her a ration.
To who are we? To who do we have the pleasure of addressing?
She eats a little bit, and she just stays there, kind of like partially submerged from the frozen swamp. And she's like, what? She calls herself. She says, "You can call me Granny."
Well, Granny, are you, do you live around here?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And she points to Magnus, and she's like, you're just like me. And she pokes you in the belly. Make a save versus, in this case, wisdom save. If you have a magic bonus, you can apply that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
Swamp being tormented by elders.
Yeah. All I can say is, fuck this.
I succeeded.
All right, you almost get a compulsion to like double over giggling like a toddler, but you overcome it, and you keep yourself from giggling and hold your mouth.
Well, I naturally laugh. I naturally laugh because she's just tickling me. But yes, I restrain myself.
She like trundles over to Algar and tickles him under his chin, and she's like, "And you already know all the secrets. You already know them. You're such a naughty boy." You can make a save if you have any magic bonus. You can add that.
All right. If it's just the giggling thing, I'm just gonna go with it. But let's see what happens. Alrighty. I failed. Especially if it's a wisdom thing.
Your luck is astonishing. It's
whatever. I have fun.
Yeah. No, it is fun. Let's see. You think she is your best buddy. You think, oh, this is my granny. I can trust her.
Oh, it's one of those. All right, I got you.
Yeah, and she says, and look at that. Look at what is Father Bloombad's first name that has never been uttered.
It still hasn't been uttered.
Well,
the light
if a name is uttered, but in the woods, nobody's around. Nope.
Oh, we gotta get this guy a new mic, man.
We got nothing.
Can't hear you. Oh,
he's jiggling the cables metaphorically.
Okay, now we're hearing the mumble, but we heard it.
Yeah, this is a brand new mic.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I know that's so frustrating.
Oof. Yeah, sympathies.
Yeah, we heard you there.
Yeah,
yeah. My first name is Arthur, but I have my holy symbol held out in front of me.
She comes up and then she hesitates and she's like, don't worry, Arthur. And she says your name in front of everyone, and they've never heard it before. And then she comes over to Flanagan and she's like, and my good little farm boy. Ooh. And she reaches to grab your cheeks.
Don't touch me, lady. I don't want to touch. I don't want to be anything to do with you. He's like, he backs off. Like he really doesn't want to be touched by her.
That makes me so sad.
He's fine, Flanagan.
Well, don't take offense. I mean, I'm just not used to folks coming out of the swamp like that. You're not nothing normal about what's going on here to me. I'm just a little bit nervous and on edge about it all.
It's fair to be.
Since I've observed this,
at best.
I'll have a reaction as soon as if she comes toward me, I'll have an instant reaction since I've had time to observe this.
Be gentle with my comrades. They're not as acclimated to the ways of the Fae as I am.
Ooh.
He said, as though he had any control over the situation at all.
Yeah, she smiles and turns back to Algar, her friend. And she comes over and she's like, you know what it is that I seek. If your merry band of handsome young men can help me, I can give you everything that you need. Caden's rest. They suffer terribly. We can help them.
What would you do to? What would you be able to do to help?
And what manner of errand would you need us to run?
I could ensure ample food and protection and walls and great ships that could come and go and bring trade from afar. Cadence Rest could be a bastion of peace and security and happiness for its people.
What
It is a
what do
tempting
you
offer, but
what do you want in
for what-
return? Go ahead. Sorry, Richard.
no, that's fine. Honestly, it probably makes more sense for you to be the skeptical one than Algar under the circumstances.
Yeah,
Right. So I just say, what do you want in return for this?
She giggles, and she takes a twisted, gnarled finger. She points it to the sky, to the moon.
She wants the moon.
You want the moon?
Yes, just a little thing. You don't need it. It's troublesome.
I just turn and stare at Magnus like, this is you brought us here, man. You went to this.
We can get you that.
I quickly
I-
whisper to Flanagan. Quick, get your drawing pad out and sketch it. Do a good one.
What? I get it out. Sure. I'll just start
moon.
drawing.
Start drawing the moon.
The moon? Oh, I
The
see.
moon.
I got. Oh, okay. Well,
I apologize, madam, but I am a creature of the concrete and the material. There is no concrete or material fashion in which I can bring you the moon. That's more of the venue of metaphor, which is not my area of expertise.
No, I have that worked out. I know, but there are some things I need to help me. And that would allow me to work that powerful magic that could help Cadence Rest.
Well, what do you intend to do with it when you have it?
Oh, the moon?
Yes.
Oh, I'll destroy it.
Well, I'm afraid, madam, that that seems well out of our scope at the moment.
No, you misunderstand me. What's Magnus's first name? He's got like
Magnus.
a bunch of names, right?
Magnus. It's Magnus Maximus. Just two names.
Magnus Maximus. My dear Maximus, he probably calls you by. She probably calls you by your last name. I actually think that it might be of interest to you as well, because just a little bit of what I'm asking for could be of great help to you.
At the cost of the moon?
Yes.
Seems high.
It's not that I'm not willing to assist you in this endeavor. I don't grasp how.
Well, I need the tears of a unicorn. At least a sack full.
A sack full
yes.
of the tears of a unicorn.
Yes, a sack full of tears. I need 1,000 secrets gathered that are whispered under a full moon. They could be done at different times, though. And lastly, I'll need someone's reflection, cast from the sky by sun or moon.
And if we say no?
Oh, you'd make your granny so sad.
Oh,
Yes,
I don't
really.
want to make the esteemed granny sad. That's not. Yeah.
No, I don't.
It's very clearly like thinking through the logistics of implementing this chain of events.
Flanagan just whispers to Alaric, I am not drawing no moon. I don't want to have any part of this. If we give that to her, the next thing you know, she's going to be up in Cadence Rest doing this stuff, and I don't think we want her touching any of this. It's a trick.
Well, perhaps you could just keep an eye out for these things for me. I promise you that for each lead on any of these secrets, it would be a great boon for Cadence Rest. I think I could do something.
Okay. You mentioned secrets whispered under the full moon?
Yes, 1,000 of them.
I can't get you 1,000, but I know a few decent secrets. What phase is the moon from just now?
It'll be full soon, maybe in 3 nights.
Come by in 3 nights again. I'll have something for you.
Algar, what are you doing?
I thank you for your visit.
All gifts must be exchanged in fairness.
No, that's during the.
Well, I hope this is just between you and her, not me.
I would never entangle you in such things without your consent. I know that you're a creature of the grounded world. I wouldn't have. It's one of the things that I and my predecessor have valued about you. It's one of the reasons we've liked you.
Well,
Well,
all right,
Granny, Granny, we will keep our eye out for these things.
She tries to grab Flanagan's cheeks again, and then if he backs away, she's like, "Oh, come on, please!" You know, like you're.
I don't want to be touching you. I don't want to. Let's not touch each other. I don't want that.
and then she giggles and she waves, and then just suddenly she like sinks into the ground as if she's just like like being poured out into it, just like, and then sinks into the frost.
I just give a little wavy thing as she's leaving.
What a peculiar woman.
I just turn slowly to Magnus. Now, we came out here because you want to have some kind of meeting and party with these folks, and I'd like to raise a very serious question about whether we should actually be doing this, Magnus. I mean, this is getting weirder every minute.
My friend, reflect on this. Foolish or not, I accepted the invitation. I would rather not be rude to these people.
Well, the trickery. It seems to me it's right on the edge of us getting in some real trouble that we don't even know we're getting into. That's all. It's not swordplay or anything like that. It's words and tricks and people losing things that we don't even know if there's something we don't even remember right now. She might have already stolen some memories that we don't have. I mean, all this is really freaking me out.
Yes, well, let me remind you. First of all, you're absolutely right. We should not regard this as safe. Indeed, you should have the same attitude as you do when you go through the mouth of doom, as you've done many times.
Yeah, this is a lot different, though.
I'm not sure it is that much different.
Sure is to me. I mean, she just poured into the ground.
Yes. Well, you know,
Go ahead.
so one day we have an old woman emerging from the ground and being absorbed back into it, and on another we have foul filth demons rushing at us from puddles of putrescent pus emerging from the foul stone.
Well, that's true, I suppose.
It certainly is true. And so, say what you will about our present circumstance, it is at least fresh air.
No, I suppose. All right.
And by the light of the fire, I lean over Algar and I whisper in his ear a secret. I don't want to be here anymore.
Doesn't strike me as particularly secret, my friend. It's cold, it's dark, and we're in the grip of foreign affairs. But take some comfort. As peculiar as she is, the Swamp Granny is not a malicious creature, merely an eccentric one. We can trust her to hold true to her bargains and to treat us with kindly respect. After all, she did return that which was taken from me when she had no need to, and has treated with us with condescension, but with kindness.
Yeah, well, you got 1,400.
Brain frazzled.
Yeah, you got 1,499 more to go. So good luck.
And I mean, none of you. I just want to raise a point here that I believe I'm the only one who's got fly hands from things that have happened in our adventures. I mean, we might come back with deer horns on our heads or friggin' goat feet or something like that. I just want to raise the point that from experience, that kind of thing does happen.
Well, it happens.
So,
it
has
happens
happened to my predecessors in the past, and it may happen again to me or in the future. It's one of the hazards of my line of work.
Well, it's one of mine too, apparently.
Well,
sadly so.
You are the one who chose to take up and wield an obvious weapon of darkness, my good friend, as useful as
Don't blaming me now for what happened. Don't go saying it was all me. You would have done the same thing.
A dark spear?
If he hadn't, Dalton would have. You know this is true.
Yeah, that I believe.
I believe.
Another question about how you know Dalton so well, but I don't even want to get into that. I got to take
me a journal.
I get up and I walk away from the fire to go take a leak, and I'm just mumbling to myself in the darkness.
Don't wander too far.
You all have been having these arguments over the past couple of days, and it's now late at night. Probably it's been difficult to even establish watches and just sleep at night, both because of how cold and uncomfortable, but also what visitations you might have. And Flanagan, you go to take a whiz in the night, and you see something in the trees. It's
Why is it raining?
You see the snowbanks glimmering like diamonds, and they refract light in such a way that it creates a night rainbow, which is beautiful.
Wow.
And this night rainbow, you can see it ahead as you're peeing, and you finish, kind of peeing. You're staring for a second, and all of a sudden you can see the lights kind of moving and dancing, and then they begin to coalesce into a woman, a beautiful woman that's like dancing and twirling, and she's made of this rainbow, and she looks at you and she smiles, and she like motions to the snow, and she gives you a pleading look, and in the snow you can see cast in the snow, like as if a image cast from a projector screen or something, a hand mirror.
Oh, you want my reflection, don't you? Is that what you want?
She shakes her head and she points towards the hand mirror.
I take a step forward, just sort of like, this is an awesome sight and beautiful. I imagine seeing like the Northern Lights or something, but in a woman, and I peek down into the mirror to look.
It's just a hand mirror. It's kind of cast like as if a projector, and you bend over, peek at it, and you see that she's bending over and peeking at it too. And after a moment, when you look up, she just quizzically looks up at you as well. Do you have a mirror on you?
I don't think I do, but let me just quickly check.
You're not cheap.
No, I do not have a mirror.
Either way, she points at the mirror and just holds her hands up like pleading, asking for
I glance back at the campfire to see if it still exists.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, you didn't
I
have
look
a yellow
back.
sky or anything. Yeah.
Okay. I look back, and then I look and I go, I don't know what I can do, and I'll bend down into the snow, and I understand it's like a projection, but I'll try to touch it.
It's just snow. As you move the snow around, the projection is.
I'm sorry, lady. I think this doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't think I can help you. And you're real pretty though. And I start to like back away a little bit towards the fire. Still have my eyes.
She looks real angry, and she kind of makes an indignant stomp in the snow, and then she just like floats off and then dematerializes back into rainbow.
Okay, I march back to the fire. Oh, it's probably like a pea stain. Like I didn't a little bit of, I still pull out my pants a little bit. I just saw, God damn it, there's some kind of ghost or something out in the woods. It just looked like a rainbow. She came to me and she pointed at the ground, and it was like she was asking me for a reflection or a mirror or something. It was like a mirror on the ground, like a portal, all rainbowy.
Wait,
I can't even go. You can't even go take a leak now.
could you? I don't know if you know this or if Ross can answer this. Could you see yourself and/or her in this mirror?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
So when he looked into the mirror, it was blank.
It was just an object, and yeah,
Right.
inside of the mirror, it showed nothing.
Right.
As if it
I
were
was just
drawn.
checking because
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well then you narrowly avoided a terrible faux pas. If that had been a mirror that worked, I think the lady probably, from what I've heard about these creatures, probably wanted a lot of, compliments about her appearance, since she was very fancy and pretty looking. You probably missed an opportunity to. But nope, the mirror is not an actual working mirror. But I thought for a second there you flubbed that, but you didn't, because she got angry. You said so. I thought maybe that's what it was.
I would love to tell you precisely what had happened, but I have no idea. That one's new to me.
Yeah. I fish a mirror out of my backpack and hand it to you. Like I just bought this before we left.
You're a man who thinks ahead.
I got wolfsbane too.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I made a faux pas or something like that, but I mean,
No.
I've been walking around with Wolfsbane for a year plus. Not gonna catch me napping. Although I don't have a mirror.
right? Yeah, so I think Flanagan's embarrassed at his lack of ability to charming ability to charm, and is he's just quiet by the fire now.
I don't know who of us would have handled that better.
Yep. I don't think any of us had a. Well, maybe Father Bloombad if what she wanted was a mirror, but we don't even know that.
You don't have to make me feel better. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I don't endeavor to keep my. I don't think I should open my mouth anymore with any of these creatures, anyways.
Perhaps what on earth would someone want with the moon?
Well,
She
that
was
willing
just
Royal
destroyed.
lycanthropes.
But anyways, the next day or the night passes, the morning comes, and when you wake up, the last person on watch has fallen asleep, and you find yourselves like the hobbits, bound among roots, and the trees nearby have gnarled all about you and bound you, and there's just roots everywhere, big roots that are just encompassing all of you, and a person with nubby little horns and goat feet and a very fancy kind of early 19th century formal wear, male formal wear, romantic era, sort of prances towards you, and he's like, well, this will not do at all.
I'm sorry?
No, you are not sorry. I don't know who you are, but you're not sorry.
I am a man who is apologizing.
Are.
This confusion.
Well, I am not a man. Yes, and you've made a mess.
How have we done that? We woke up like this.
Oh, that's even worse. The negligence. Unbelievable. You can't leave. You can't leave until you clean all of the dirt up.
The dirt.
Yes,
Which dirt?
all of it.
Could you point to some of it, please?
You're covered in dirt, and then like literally
Oh.
the world is dirt. It's earth.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like,
Yes,
all the
well,
dirt.
of course, we literally can't leave until this dirt is removed from us. It weighs us down at the moment, if you notice.
Right. You have to. And then he peers. He looks. Wait a second. Is that? And I think I think I said it was. Oh, it's the Celtic tree thing, right? The holy symbol. Is that right? Yeah. I think he sees some of the stuff on Father Bloombad, and he's like, Are you a man of the church?
Yes, I am.
Oh no. And then he starts speaking in this like really strange grating noise, like it sounds like large uneven things just like sliding and scraping on other things, and then sometimes becoming a kind of slithering slimy noise in between, just like all this like noise. And then you realize that noise begins to match the noise around you, and it's a loud noise of undergrowth, and all of the roots begin to recede. And he's like, I apologize, Father. And then he dances off into the woods.
Always say, choose good company. And I nod at Father Bloombad. Thankfully.
Flanagan just says nothing. He just mumbles to himself, and I'm gonna get some firewood. And he gets up and keeps his eyes to the ground, and he just starts collecting firewood and not even mumbling to himself at this point.
Just be ready if any of them talk.
The firewood, yeah.
Yes, because you can't be sure. Just don't be so shocked.
And perhaps don't cut any trees down.
Can I eat food anymore? I mean, I can't urinate. I can't.
There should be dead wood. There should be fallen wood. I just perhaps it's a good idea not to lay an axe to
not-
any of these trees.
And do not have open flame.
I will be
carried
with
around
you to
with
assist in just a moment. I'm merely writing a log of this bullshit.
I regret nothing.
It's great. Other
You're
characters
allowed
is
to
awesome.
regret things a little bit, my friend.
Nothing.
All right.
We should just
Your discomfort is a small price to pay in Magnus's
and eat
eyes.
our food while we wait. Like little gerbils. We should all hug, our backs to each other like little gerbils, eating our food, waiting the time to come because we don't want to interact with anything else here right now.
That happens, and the sun begins to set early in an overcast sky, and the freezing cold Albion as you're back to back and eating your dried, probably near frozen food as well, and waiting for the next awful thing to befall you. And a little light begins to dance in the distance, and it grows closer and closer. And it's a little person with wings, and it is
Finally.
it's it is Erica Thistledown, and she says she doesn't say anything, except she comes up to you, and she comes up to Flanagan, and looks like really close to your nose, like right between your eyes. She just hovers there. And she's looking at your nose, and she puts her hands on her hips as she flies there, and she's like, "How does this nose not tip you over and make you fall over?"
I'm not talking to you, woman. I'm not saying anything to you. Get away. Go talk to someone else.
Oh,
You'll have to forgive our young friend. He's it's been a bit of a difficult week.
oh,
We have been subject to the creative hospitality of your neighbors for some time.
yes, it is the prank season, but perhaps
It's good to know.
perhaps some of our games could lighten your mood, and you could. I assume that you did many of your own pranks.
Should we have?
Well, the problem is they keep coming and going without us. We don't get to sneak up on them to prank them. They hit us without. If I saw a group of them hanging out, I'd come up with a good prank for them. But I didn't. I've never seen that.
Well,
By the way, pleasure to meet you.
oh, were you not there the session with Erica Thistledown and the crone?
Oh,
In the-
pleasure
in
to
the
re-meet
alley?
you.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fine.
Sorry,
I maybe you
I
weren't.
was.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I just didn't. I remember the crone. I don't remember her really specifically. I have the worst memory on earth. In case, what did I tell you that before?
I can't remember.
Right. She waves and she's like, "Okay, well, you're all very silly, but please don't trip over your gigantic feet. I can't carry you." And she starts flying this way.
We go.
Yes. So, what can you tell us about the dweller in that old ruined temple over there?
That place smells bad. I don't go there.
A respectable policy.
And eventually she leads you to the forest. And
In the forest.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's like Central Park. Well, without the flying things. That bridge reminds me a little bit.
It's Kafka.
Uh-oh.
you see a clearing with a small pond in a wooded valley. It looks quite nice here. At this point, it is well into nighttime, and the clearing is flat and level, about 60 feet in diameter. Along with the pond, there is a stream running into it, and along to the west, a rock formation. And on the rocks, you can see one of the little fairy people like Erica with wings but a crown on his head, sitting on one of the rocks. And you can see that there are all sorts of little thistle nests where they create bulbs with little doors, and then it plumes at the top. And they've made homes out of all these little plumes of thistle that they've gathered all along the pond. And there is there are also these little people that don't have wings but have cricket bodies, cricket bottom halves. They're like cricket tars, and they live along the pond, and they are a bunch of them are dancing and playing games, and people are speaking to the fairy that sits on the rock, and they all are dressed very well, as also in a similarly kind of which I think your characters would not have any sense of this. It'd probably be kind of alien to them, but they have like a later period of dress by far than you do. What, by almost nearly 1,000 years? Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But so they're dressed very strangely, and Erica continues to just kind of like float through the crowds. You can see a bunch of games kind of like bordering here, and leading you, if you directly toward the one that's sitting on the rock.
Okay. That's the one with the crown, right?
Huh? What'd you say?
I asked if that's the one with the crown we were saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are all of the creatures here very small?
Yes.
All right.
There are essentially four types of creatures you see here. There are the pixie people with the wings. There are pixie people that don't have wings but have cricket bottom halves. There are floating lights that just kind of like hang. Some of them are big and slow and different colors. Some of them are small and energetic and bouncing around. And then there are badgers. And there's a drag race of badgers with the pixie people like racing badgers back and forth on a drag strip.
Oh, that's great.
That's delightful.
That's great.
Those are all the creatures you see here.
Okay, so none of them are underfoot at all. They're all a good distance away from us. No, we're not in danger of blundering into,
A badger race.
or just anybody. I mean, we're not having to. Are we having to tiptoe through these people, or
Yes,
are they all?
It's absolute utter chaos, and you're worried you'll step on somebody at any given time. But they just
Okay,
like
well.
chaotically buzz around you and flit past. Sometimes little tiny ones that you think might be kids. They're just, it's just madness.
Okay.
They're a good bit faster than us. Just, take slow steps.
Oh, I'm just gonna sit down right here. I don't want to crush no babies or anything.
Mhm.
I'll just go down really carefully and sit cross-legged in the grass.
To your credit, Flanagan.
I'm going to.
Erica stops and she's like, "You don't want to meet my father?"
I totally do.
I guess I will. Yeah, sorry, and I'll stand up and
No.
follow.
Here, take my hand. I'll guide you
I
to
asked-
the crowd.
I asked
hold
Erica.
hand. I'm totally holding hands with Algar.
Ask Erica how I look. Is anything out of place? Do I have to do anything?
She looks at you and she's like, "No, it's probably too late." And she keeps going towards you.
Yes, that's right.
And anyways, you approach these rocks that are formed into a fairy throne, and there are two sitting here. There's one with a crown, and then a female, by appearance at least, like in a dress, a gown with a crown as well, next to him. And then there is kind of like a few. You see that. So there's the woman in the gown and with a crown, a male with a crown. They're all dressed very well, and then there is one that looks kind of older, and he has I wonder if you all would know what these are too. He has tiny little spectacles.
Yeah.
Um,
Pierce Nez. Pierce
Yeah.
Nez or whatever they call that thing.
They're probably a quality of lens which we can't grasp, but like lenses of that
Pince.
sort have existed for a long time.
Pince Nez.
And then
That's what it
lastly, there's one with a longer trail to a suit, and he has a dour expression and dark hair. He looks slightly younger. He stands in a casual, dismissive stance off and away from you all, just kind of like appraising you as you come
is.
closer.
Make a note of him as trouble.
And there are a bunch of these little pixies that surround the king and queen, and when you get closer, the little old one with the little spectacles leans toward Erica. Erica whispers toward him, and then he belts out. He's like, the Hounds of the Pine and their associates.
I'm gonna bow to the king. I assume he's a king.
I'll bow as well.
And I'm going to present him with Bloodletter the Spork
Oh.
as a gift.
Wow. Yeah, and they he has a title for each of you. It's like you know, so he says, you know, Flanagan the insect hands, wielder of dark spear, and they say all this stuff, you know, basically they recount your deeds, and they do, you know, Alaric, wielder of the blade of Crowneck, the lost, slayer of shadows, and you know, and they recount deeds that, like, how would, you know, somehow they've gathered this information on you, except when they come to Algar, for which they simply say, and their guest, and then they don't actually say Algar's name. And
So,
then,
like I say, okay, go ahead.
yeah, so when you come and you bow and you
And
present that.
I present it and I say, by this spork, I have let the blood of hobgoblins and giant spiders, and I present it to you.
Yeah, all the sprites they go, oh, you know, and the king takes it just with one hand, because this is like a big mighty weapon for him, and he wields it up, and he's like, welcome, honored guests, to my court. This is a magnificent gift. Erica has told me so much about you. I have wanted to meet you for so long. And his wife is just like laughing and looking at that weapon, you know. And
What does she look like?
She looks like let's see.
Any description?
Yeah. There are a half dozen fluttery pixie handmaidens that all flit about her, constantly giggling and whispering, initially ignoring you until the spork is presented. And then there are kind of 3 large, fat, floating blobs of those lights that float nearby. They're some of the largest that you've seen, and they move the slowest. And otherwise, she has a gown. She looks quite beautiful, and you see her always acting with this poise and courtly manner at all times. She gasps when the spork is presented.
I see that she is beautiful, and you know, one would expect all that. And I see that this great gift that Magnus gave, and you know, since only one of them got it, I quickly make it as if it's a big show of planned whatever. Unfortunately, it's in a pouch that doesn't look like it's very, you know, prepared for this. I go, and this ruby that sets off your eyes so well, it pales before you, but hopefully you'll appreciate it.
Oh wow, you give her a ruby?
Yeah, the one I've been carrying forever. 400
Wow.
gold piece ruby that I've had forever.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
Because I figure, he's get a sword, she gets something pretty. you know.
She
Most valuable item I have, but whatever.
She's like, thank you, Sir Knight. This is incredible.
I blush, and I literally blush and put my head down because it wasn't like it was actually I'm gonna do a little Gimli-ish thing going on here.
Yeah.
Ross, it was the one you said had a snout. There was some kind of like darker figure.
Yeah, one of them.
Announcer?
One of them. He looks younger, male pixie. He stands off at a distance in a non-courtly slouch, leaning against something, arms crossed, appraising you in dark attire.
All right. I gently walk over to that person, and I say, I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do here, and I pull out the earring I have. I mean, you're wearing black like I am. This is something I found. It says, I turn it over awkwardly. It says Rappan Athuk on it. It's a place that we've been exploring, and it's, I think it's worth some money. And, I guess this is what, you're dressed in black like I am. I hope you like it. This is like a demon lord.
He scowls, and he looks at it. He says, I am honor bound to accept this. Thank you. He takes it.
All right.
At you.
You got the goth Tina, you got the goth prince here.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Very Prince Hamlet.
Well, thanks for inviting us and all that. And I just awkwardly step back to.
In real life, I forget my names all the time. Did we get names of the king and the queen, or just the king and the queen?
I apologize. That is something
we didn't. Okay.
No. To you, they would have announced then as you approach.
No, I meant you didn't say it. It's not my brain that I forgot it.
It was not your brain.
Okay.
King Ilmander, Queen Kaja, and Erica Thistledown you've already met. And this is maybe Erica would have filled you in as you come up, and she points toward the one in black attire, and she says, "That is my brother Thub Dowerberry." And
most appropriately named NPC of all time.
Robert Dowerberry, awesome.
I like the Barabbas of the encounter, which, by the way, means thief in Arabic.
Actually, interestingly, I have this wrong. This is important. No, that's right. Okay, Thub Dowerberry, and then there's the missing one here. Where's he at? And then the old man with the spectacles is Willow Cloud Dancer.
Ooh.
And then lastly, they point to the head musician who's putting on the performance for this, as there are all these little pixie people with the cricket bottoms, and they also are playing the fiddle. There's like a symphony of fiddle playing going on, and they say that's Kirkatink. And the king, he motions toward the festival and he says, "My friends, you are honored guests. Please enjoy the festivities, enjoy the food, enjoy the dance, enjoy our games, our tests of skill, for I have appointed that the winner of each test of skill is granted a boon from the throne."
Ooh.
And with that, we'll end for the night.